Hello everybody and welcome back to today's video. And yeah, as you can see from the title, we'll be sculpting something today. As you can see, we're going to use different kinds of tools, a little sponge, and for the tools I have no idea what the names are. It's just like a basic sculpting set, I believe. And you know, a little knife, some gloves, and yeah, some clay, which I thought would be easier to take out because I made sure to keep it in like a airtight container, but I guess I was wrong. It was still very tough in the beginning to work with, but yeah, what do you know? And yeah, basically the idea behind this little sculpture was to try and bring my character, my mascot ARDNARD, to life in a different medium, basically, you know. I already drew him digitally and with painting and whatever, like with paints, and now I thought, let's try 3D for once. And whilst now when I look at him, I think he turned out really cute, but I don't know how accurate to the original he truly is. I think I should have made his face more round, but I guess it's also kind of like realistic in a way. I think it's okay. It's pretty decent. And originally I just wanted to do the head, but I felt like, you know, once I looked at it, I'm like, it kind of looks a little weird if it's just at the head and all alone. And I also felt it wouldn't make for that interesting of a video, and so I just came up with, you know, just giving him a little bit of body and making him hold the YouTube icon, YouTube play button, which not like the play button in terms of, you know, what I don't have, because I can't have it until now because I don't have that many subscribers, but just, you know, the logo. And I thought about painting it, but until now I didn't know, or like I don't know which paints to use for it. If I have the correct paints to, you know, for little sculptures like this, because I've mainly like watercolors, which I think would be a bad idea. And then I have acrylic paints, which I guess they would be okay, but then again, if I, you know, use water, it's like, I'm not so sure if that will work out. So until now I've kept all of my sculptures plain, and yeah, as you can see, we are working on the face. I'm using like this one pointy tool. I could have used like the little knife that I had as well, or I guess you could really use whatever you want. Like a toothpick I think would have also worked really well to get those finer details. And because one thing that I struggled with is, you know, you kind of have like a little bit of excess. It's not perfectly carved, because obviously when you carve something like into the clay has to go somewhere. It doesn't just disappear unless you were to squish it in, I guess. But trying and getting that smooth didn't work phenomenally, but it's alright. He looks really cute now that I look at him, the finished product, to the left side of me. And yeah, here you can see me figuring out, I mean, on one hand, because it was like simple, but as you can tell, I also had like some clay left over, so it was, I guess, sort of like a compromise of, you know, having this basic design and trying to make it less basic, and also trying to, you know, not waste the clay that I already cut. And yeah, here we can see me sculpting the ears, which I also kind of struggled with. What I'm surprised with is that they actually like didn't fall off and that I didn't have to use like toothpicks or something. Like that one method, like it works really well. Like I guess, you know, just patting it down, patting it into the other clay figurine very vigorously, as you can tell. I'm just like, it has to work because I was so scared it's gonna fall off, but now when I look at it, it's rock solid. So I guess that technique works pretty well. Of course, a lot of water being used here, a lot of rinse and repeat, and sculpting the ear to the rest of the head. But yeah, one thing that I also struggle with, which I guess in this video, considering I'm wearing gloves, you can't tell as much, is, you know, I have long nails because I also do nail art and I do like the fake nails, and it is challenging. And you know, working with clay and having like these long nails, because I'm kind of like, I think it only happened once this time around, luckily, but sometimes I accidentally poke the clay with my fingernails, which is not the best, as you can imagine. But yeah, I guess everything is just, you know, practice. And yeah, I mean, also back in the day, I could never figure out how people do anything with long nails, and now I have them myself, so it just takes getting used to and using a little different technique, I guess. But I mean, luckily I've got some tools, so they help me a little bit. Yeah, especially because the clay that I'm using is quite tough, or yeah, it's not. When I freshly opened it, it was wonderful, but obviously it dried out a little bit, even though I used a Tupperware container. Oh well. And yeah, I guess to also keep you updated on what else I'll be doing, as of now I'm trying to really like figure out how to be more professional with all of this, with the YouTube channel, but also because I'm trying to figure out, you know, what my business would look like, because I'm trying to create a little business of my own. I've already planned a lot of things, many Word documents, many ideas that are written down. For example, the ARDNARD and friends, you know, all of these like characters that you can spot in the thumbnails, trying to, you know, finalizing all of the characters' names and concepts and, you know, the art behind them, to have them all finished, so it's more easy for me to design the thumbnails accordingly, and, you know, so it's less stressful, and yeah, figuring that out. But basically all the characters are established, like what kind of animal they represent, and yeah, just need to create and finish all of the designs. And I don't think every single one has a name yet. I think one or two don't have a proper name yet, but that will be coming soon. And yeah, here you can see me finishing off the head of ARDNARD. And yeah, now we're gonna start with the body, which it's kind of funny because the like design, basically, you know, I used the leftover clay, right? But it didn't last for, you know, having 4 legs but only 2 and a tail. So it kind of looks like a funny little being, but maybe we can pretend that his legs are, like his back hind legs are like stuffed under his body or something. But yeah, you can see this is basically the little piece of clay that I was left with. And yeah, working on that, which was even more difficult because obviously I was very big brain here. I let out, like, I cut the piece of clay out, worked with one of it, and the other one, guess what, was waiting on the sidelines and drying in the meantime, which made it even more difficult to work with, because yeah, I was really smart on that one. And yeah, here you can see me crafting the little YouTube icon, little YouTube button. And yeah, maybe one day I'll paint all of my sculptures. Maybe that will be an extra video when I finally find the correct paints to use. Or I'm just not lazy. That would also help. But yeah, you can see me again carving in the logo and trying to make it look somehow clean. But yeah. Meanwhile, ARDNARD's clay figure is looking into our soul from the bottom below. Yeah. And yeah, one actual solution that I sort of kind of found to, you know, these rough edges, I guess you could say, is using the sponge and trying to get into these little creases and getting the little pieces of clay that were, you know, left, getting them out or trying to smoothen it a little bit. It kind of worked, not amazingly, but it did something, so that was already very helpful. And yeah, now we're gonna actually get to the body. And later on, the hands, for which I did use toothpicks, like broke some pieces of toothpicks off. It was kind of chaotic, not gonna lie, but you're gonna see that soon. But yeah, ironically enough, for the ears I didn't need it, and also not for connecting the head to the body, and not even for the tail, which is honestly amazing. But you know, again, you just have to get creative, both in the process and when, you know, you struggle with your solutions. You will always figure out a way. And yeah, here you can see me trying to figure out where the head is gonna lie. Yeah, looking good. And then, of course, the rest of the body, the other body parts. And yeah, let me know. I guess I'm just gonna start a very random rant because I don't know about you. I mean, I think we all know what the political climate is looking like these days. It's not the best, but ironically enough, in my country where I'm from, it's also very chaotic. Like, it's just, we're living like almost like in a vacant space, like nothing is happening. We're just waiting to finally have something. Because all that has been happening is, you know, sort of figuring out who is gonna, you know, rule this country. Not really, but like, you know, the parliament and the ministries and stuff like that. And until now we have nothing. Literally, like, what was it? I think the statistic was like 137 days or something ever since we voted. It's wonderful. It's great. And I guess I'm just gonna say it outright, like, fun fact, the country that I'm from is Austria. So not Australia, but Austria, like, you know, the country like in the middle of Europe, like beneath Germany, like squeezed in between Germany and Italy and many other countries. That's where I'm from. And if you want to have some fun, you can look up the current state of our politics and the current state of our country. You can have a lot of fun because it is wonderful, truly, because yeah, we literally have nothing. But yeah, I guess it's almost like a series, like, stay tuned for the next episode and see what your country will and won't do. It's truly lovely, but at least we, you know, I mean, I guess what currently is going on is just, it's so crazy. It's almost like, I won't say humorous because it's more like dark humor at this point, what is happening, but I feel like the reason why I'm finally taking a little bit more risk starting this YouTube channel is because it feels like the world is ending anyway, so might as well do what I want to do, what I'm passionate about, because even if I do what is, you know, right and sensible, I'm probably not gonna turn out happy anyways, because the current climate is in the world is insane. And I think I kind of became more unhinged because the world has become more unhinged. Let me know if you're also feeling that vibe. But yeah, kind of crazy. And fun fact, I didn't know if I mentioned this already in another video, but I'm going to quit my current studies. Not quite yet, because I paid, the money for this semester, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense. And also, basically my idea is to switch to a business university and study business and economics in like an English major, which would be lovely. But has a very like tough entrance exams where there's only like 240 places. And basically what I've been doing is that I've got the minimum points for this year, for an entire like year at university, so I can relax for the next, like for the summer semester. I'm basically free, can do whatever I like besides work, which is not that much, and working on this YouTube channel and studying for the test because I really, really, really badly want to get in. Like, I want to make it. And I mean, I do also have a backup plan, which is sort of like basically the same thing but just regular, like not the special international pure English major, but bachelor, if you will. So yeah, that's my plan. Fun fact, again, just being, I wouldn't say unhinged, but finally doing what I want to do, because I realize I wouldn't say the most boring person, but I'm not someone who likes to take a lot of risks. I'm more like safe and like, not trying to do anything too risky and comfort and yada yada yada. But I realized that, first of all, I actually kind of enjoy quote unquote regular jobs. And sort of like teaching, I don't mind teaching as is, but like everything surrounding it is kind of it's not great, it's not looking good, and I'm just tired of everything being pushed onto the teachers. Like, we have to fix everything, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know if I want to do that. And also I don't want to work at home, if that makes sense. Like, I like it if I go to work from this, clock in at who knows what time, clock out at who knows whatever, and then I'm just free. I can just relax a little bit instead of having to deal with homework and essays and exams and whatnot, to work on those in my free time. Especially considering that when I was in school, I always found a way to not do the homework at home, but always doing it at school. So it's kind of ironic why I picked to become a teacher in the first place. But yeah, generally I do enjoy teaching as is. Like, I'm also a very creative person. For example, I really like to design like my own teaching materials, but I have a feeling that it's all not gonna be like worth it or not gonna work out when I'm actually gonna become a teacher and getting more involved with like hearing about what it's like, actually knowing what it's like, because I also give tutoring at schools as well, and it's just like falling out of love with it, is what I would describe it. And yeah, just finally admitting that, how do I say, like, you have like this dream, and I could never really figure out, am I just delusional? Am I being pretentious? Am I seriously thinking that I'm like doing YouTube and creating a small business? Like, who do I think I am? But then I'm like, so many people have done it before, and we're just like, oh, I have an idea, I'm just gonna do it, I'm just gonna bring it to life. And I'm like, well, why shouldn't I do it? Again, what I said about currently the world sucks anyways, so might as well do what you want to do. And you can always do like a side, well, or like a, we call it like a, in German we call it a like bread job, we would call it. If I don't know if that exists in the same way, but basically, you know, one job that helps you, you know, survive, and then whatever else you do, you know, your little business, for example, or your passion is what you support with that. And yeah, just seeing how it goes. But I try to not be too low-key about it. I really want to create things, have a little business of my own. That is the goal, and I'm really trying to, you know, get my butt into gear this year, especially in the summer semester where I have a lot of time. And yeah, really working on that. But we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated, of course. And I mean, just by, I guess, seeing what content I upload, you will, I guess, figure out where I'm standing. And I really need to make sure that I don't slack off and just, as you do, you know, only saying things. It's like, you know, there's a difference between just talking about it and saying, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, or like, you know, these vision boards, versus actually doing. Like, the doing is the important part, taking action, and not just living in a dream world, imagining myself to be this like business owner and then never actually contributing anything to it. Like, that's not gonna help. But yeah, I'm really trying to not do it like this. And I mean, just the fact that I've been able to regularly upload YouTube videos is already a good sign that I have some sort of discipline left in me. Yeah, here you can see, going back to our clay figure, because I think that's what the video is actually about. You can see me again going back to the tail because I'm very worried that it's gonna fall off. So I'm like making sure that it's staying on. It's kind of giving me like Tom Nook vibes, like like a raccoon. But yeah, that's basically the finished product, which is, you know, taking the sponge and trying to, you know, make the surface more clear. And this is the finished product, a little ARDNARD figurine holding a play button. He turned out, I think, very cute, and maybe I'll get to painting it someday. And yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.